Why don't the persecuted hide their protected characteristic to avoid persecution from the CCP? The first example, Uyghur Muslims. So their ethnic minority groups in Xinjiang has been targeted primarily for their religious and ethnic identity, despite facing intensive persecution, which included mass surveillance, internment in re-education camps, and forced labor. Many Uyghurs continue to express their religious and the cultural identities, so hiding these characteristics wouldn't only mean a denial of their deeply held beliefs and traditions, but also a surrender to the erasure of their identity and culture. And sometimes many of them are willing to do even at a great personal high risk. And the second example is Falun Gong practitioners. So Falun Gong is a spiritual practice combining meditation and Qigong exercises with a philosophy that's centered on the tenets of truthfulness, 真, compassion, 善, and forbearance, 忍. But it was banned in China since 1999. The practitioners are often subjected to arrest, torture, and imprisonment. The practitioners typically resist hiding their beliefs because they see their practice as a fundamental part of their identity and well-being. And moreover, many continue their practices as a form of non-violence resistance against the CCP operation. And the third example is Tibetan Buddhists. The Tibetans are persecuted for their unique cultural and religious identity, which is seen as a threat to CCP authority and the ideology of a unified Chinese state. Despite all of these risks, many Tibetans continued to celebrate their religious festivals and wear traditional clothes and openly revere Dalai Lama. Concealing these aspects of their identity would compromise their cultural heritage and spiritual duties, which may be regarded as worth preserving at any cost. And the fourth example is human rights activists. So these individuals are targeted for their political opinions and their activities aimed at promoting democratic reforms and criticizing the Chinese government policies. So activists often choose visibility as a strategy to gain international attention and protection, but hiding their political opinion would be counteract with the fundamental mission to advocate for change and expose injustice within the system. And the fifth example is Christian house church members. These are the followers of Christianity who participate in house churches, not officially sanctioned by the state, but the Chinese government sees this religious gathering as a potential threat to its control, so the members of house churches often continue to their worship and refuse to hide their faith because we believe in the importance of religious freedom and the power of community worship, which are viewed as essential expression of our faith. And the sixth example is Hong Kong protesters. These individuals, often young students or activists, are targeted for their political stance against the increasing encroachment of Beijing into Hong Kong's autonomy status. So many protesters wear masks and use pseudonyms to protect their identity, but they still remain visible in protests and public dissent to assert their right to freedom of speech and self-governance. So concealing their identity completely would undermine this visibility and the impact of these protests, which rely on the mass participation and international media coverage to exert pressure on government. And the seventh example is Mongolian ethnic minority in Inner Mongolia. There has been a resistance against these policies aimed at diminishing the Mongolian language in favor of Mandarin, so the Mongolian community often protests these policies as they threaten their linguistic and cultural heritage. Hiding their ethnic identity and cultural practices would mean a loss of their heritage and the capitulation to assimilative pressure, which many of them are not willing to accept. And the eighth example is the lawyers and scholars. So these intellectuals, particularly those specializing in human rights law and constitutionalism, often find themselves persecuted for their advocacy and teaching. So these individuals, using their knowledge and skill to challenge the injustices and provide legal representation for other persecuted individuals and groups, but concealing their work or altering their political opinion would compromise the very essence of their professional and ethical obligations. And the ninth example is journalists and bloggers. They are targeted for exposing government corruption and human rights abuses and for advocating for freedom of expression. So these media figures face harassment, arrest, and censorship. Many of them continue their work despite the risks because they viewed access to truthful information as essential for societal progress and accountability. So hiding their work would negate the impact of their efforts to foster informed citizenry and governmental transparency. And the 10th example is the LGBTQ plus community members. The LGBTQ plus individuals in China often face societal discrimination or marginalization. Their visibility for many within this community is a form of activism which challenges the traditional norms and activating for the broader societal acceptance and equal rights. But concealing their sexual orientation or gender identity would prevent them from living authentically and hidden the progress of the LGBTQ plus rights movement in China.